Hello everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. It is really great that everyone is here with me to see me coming back into video land. I have been absent from making videos for a long time. The name of the channel is Blue Paint Horse Studio. My name is Tamara, and I have taken quite a long hiatus from video making, but I have been bitten with the bug again. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos and decided to try my hand at it again. Unfortunately, I am feeling a little bit congested, so forgive me if I'm clearing my throat. I'm going to try not to do that too often. But 'tis the season. It's the middle of January, so anyway, I am working on a Carolina Wren. They are everywhere around my house. They even winter over here, and it's always wonderful to have them around. Their songs and their chitter chatter, it's just so nice to hear them. I always know it's them outside the windows when I'm sitting inside. I can hear them talking to each other. They're wonderful little birds. They eat insects. They're really sporty. They have this quickness about them, and their little tail that in this picture is straight up. That's actually, it reminds me of a little rudder. They're really cute. So I've drawn them before, and I'm happy to put them in my sketchbook. Which brings me to working in a sketchbook instead of doing giant paintings, which I am still doing some paintings. Not giant ones, but just normal ones. I've done one for commission lately, but this is, the sketchbook art has really taken control of me, and I really love it. I'm really enjoying it. I love these little bite-sized bits of art. Doing the pen and ink drawing. I've always loved pen and ink. I love graphite. So it's just been really nice to get back into it. And after 2020 and 2021, all the strain of those. I love that little clip. It's sideways. I still left it in there. Even all the video editing that I've been doing today, and I still can't quite remember to take that out. I'm just going to leave it in there. But yeah, there's been a lot of strain in a lot of people's lives, and definitely in mine. So it's been nice to just sit there and draw. And I have a very distinct fondness for a lot of YouTubers that I've been watching that have filled sketchbooks. I've always had sketchbooks, but I've never filled one. I've never turned it into an art piece. I've had decent sketches inside them. I'm sorry there for the quality of the video. Apparently my my camera goes into autofocus, and I'm going to have to play around with that. It's been years, literally 2 years since I've played with it, so I could barely remember how to. I've had to order like the battery charger for it. I had to order it on Amazon because I couldn't find it anywhere. I had to wait for that to come in, so I've been building up to this video for quite some time now, in my mind, mentally too. So I'm using Filmora video editor, and it's so much easier to use. It's got a little bit of issues with it, but I can't tell if it's issues with Filmora or more like my system. It could be my system because it's kind of an older computer. But, oh my goodness, it's so much more user-friendly than the editing software I was using before. Excuse me. Which was meant, I think, more for professionals and not nearly as user-friendly as Filmora has been. So, it's been really nice. Really enjoyed it. So here I'm laying in what looks like colored pencil, but they're actually Inktense pencils, and they do not have that waxiness that a lot of they don't have a waxy core like a lot of colored pencils do, these are actually soluble ink. So what I'm putting down is a thin layer of colored inks. They have beautiful colors. I'm probably using bark and baked earth. Those are my favorites. Gray. I use sun yellow. One of the other colors was violet. I use that to shade the belly a little bit. But it just has wonderful colors. It turns into an ink, so I don't know that it's more permanent per se than watercolor. Probably not. They're probably about similar. But I love it that I get to lay down all the different colors this lightly and wait until you see it when I hit it with a wet watercolor brush, how that color just springs alive. And then of course when you're done, I didn't do it for this little bird, but I've done it with portraiture, or what do you call them, characters, I guess, people, where I'll come back and even it out a little bit with colored pencil on top. And those are actually waxy colored pencils, real colored pencils on top of it. So that's it's been really, I've had like this I've had like this evolution or revolution of really relaxing back into my artwork, and I'm so happy to do it. I really appreciate commissions, but they are giant assignments, and you're drawing or painting for someone else's vision. Yes, you're getting paid for it, and it's a huge compliment to be able to be at a skill level where someone is willing to pay you. And I'm always very appreciative of them, and I'll probably still do them, but I am taking a bit of a break after the last one. And I'm going to try to fill a sketchbook. I'm almost there, actually. And then I'll do a sketchbook tour. I'm just tickled because I've never actually filled a sketchbook before. They've always been workbooks for me. They've been places where I've done thumbnails and technical drawings and practice. Mostly just trying to figure out compositions for bigger paintings or bigger pieces of art. And it never occurred to me until I started seeing some fantastic sketchbooks on YouTube, that some people keep them as actual art pieces. And I love it. I love it that they look through them, because I loved looking through my old sketchbooks, because, every now and then I would do a quote-unquote, air quotes, serious, drawing in there, and have like this cool little fairy tucked in there, or a portrait, tucked in there, or, just a really good picture of a cat, who knows. And, I always love looking through my old sketchbooks, but when I'm showing them to somebody, I'm like flipping through, all these little thumbnails that don't amount to anything because they turned into a piece of artwork that you can't see. So it just kind of looks like scribbly gibberish sometimes, and scribbly gibberish. I'm pretty sure that's a technical term right there. Excuse me again. I've been like drinking hot tea and water, trying to make sure my voice was okay for the voiceover, but it's still gravelly. Anyway, as you can see, I'm laying in some violet. Well, it's kind of hard to tell. The pencil barrels all look the same. But, violet is a good way to shade pretty much anything. And I went in with some gray as well, so. I love Carolina Wrens. They're the best. They're just the cutest little things. I think they're probably my favorite songbird. So yeah, so when I'm done with the sketchbook, I'm gonna try to record maybe no promises, but I'm gonna try to record and get videos up for the remaining pages, and then I can do a sketchbook tour, and that way you guys can see some of the stuff that I've done firsthand, like this little bird. But let's see, I think I'm getting yep, there it is. Paintbrush time. My favorite time. This reminds me of those little books that I used to get. My mom used to get me when I was very little, where it was like, you know, Disney Princess or, you know, some other fairy tale book, and it would have these little slivers of watercolor in this coloring book, and you would just add water, and I don't know what those slivers of color would be made out of, but they would just fill the whole little, you know, space, and I used to love doing that. And this reminds me of that, only, you know, it's a little bit more detailed, a little more in depth, but it's the same satisfying feeling. Boy, that out of focus. Isn't that something? I gotta find a way to rig a device so that I can see my camera, because the way my camera is suspended over my work area, I can't see the LCD screen. So I'm gonna need to figure that out too. Always figuring stuff out when it comes to the technical stuff. That's why I've been really enjoying just drawing and sketching in my sketchbook, uploading to Instagram, done, happy, finished. But I don't know. I like a little, I figure if I enjoy videos so much, watching other people's techniques, somebody's going to enjoy watching this too. So here's to you. And Inktense Pencils. Got a little muddy around his face. I think it's from the gray. I put some gray down and it was a little too gray. You can see here I dab. So you can work with them just like you do with watercolors. It softens them up. And I do a lot of unloading that brush whenever it gets too intense. You can't hear it, but I'm just rinsing it out whenever it gets too dark. That way when you go into the light area, it doesn't have all that darkness on it. Like I said, these are water-soluble ink pencils. So what ends up happening is they will lift. They'll reconstitute with more water on them, so you can actually get lighter areas too. While it's still wet, you can lift it up. But they dry pretty quickly. Well, I think I lost part of the video there. I definitely did. So, I don't know. I keep getting freezing issues. Again, not sure if it's the editor or if it's my own computer. But there I was showing you the Micron pen that I'm using. It is a .01. It's very fine. I'm actually about to go to the store and get different sizes. This is in sepia, which I really love, that it's a little bit of a softer color than black, although I've noticed in the video, from what I can see, it looks pretty dark. But that is a sepia brown, and it is really nice. It just kind of gives a little bit less of a jarring line. And you can see it's really fine. I need to get some thicker ones. It's a little fine, but it's kind of nice for some details. Like this little, you know, like around the eye and stuff like that. It's not bad. I'm used to it now. But I think I'd rather have some thicker ones too. And of course now I know that I have a secret weapon coming. It's the gel pen. I used to never use gel pens either. Now that I use them, they're wonderful. I'm happy to use them, even though they're probably not archival. That's the beauty of it being a sketchbook. I don't have to think about, you know, it hanging on the wall in the sunshine and things flaking off of it or anything like that. I do use a workable fixative, especially on the graphite pieces, just because, you know, it rubs on the other pages. So Try not to work too much off of camera, but apparently I didn't center that very well. Oh well. Live and learn, live and learn. These videos will get better, I promise. It just adds such a nice illustrative touch to these drawings, to add the pen and ink around them. I've always loved this style, but I've never tried to master it on my own. And lately I've been working in it a lot, and I really, really love it. And it's been coming along pretty good. This was kind of safe to do a little bird like this, especially a wren. I've actually done an acrylic painting of them before, so I'm very kind of familiar with their patterns and their shape. And so this was a little bit of a comfort zone, safety net type first time video. I cheated a little bit, but I'm okay with it. It makes me happy. All those little feathers. If you have any questions at all, or obviously any comments, but any questions at all about any of the product I'm using, I'm going to put as much of it as I can in the description. Got that little rudder tail. Couldn't figure out whether to do the marks with the pencil or marks with the pen. I think I would have rather done it with the pencil. But hindsight is 20/20, and I'm okay with it that way. It was a little harsh doing it with the pen. I wasn't trying to make a very realistic wren, although he did turn out to be quite realistic. Unfortunately, it's very difficult for me to get out of that mindset of putting all the details in place. So, sorry, I just took a little break. So yeah, that's just me filling in all the little parts. I really enjoy outlining watercolor and Inktense watercolor. I enjoy outlining the effects of it. I tried doing the outline first and then filling it in, kind of like a coloring book. That it has an appeal, but I feel like I always overdo the line art when I do that. So I would rather let the colors kind of speak for themselves and the forms find themselves a little bit, especially when you're doing something natural, and then just draw around them. I like that better. And if there's any mistakes, you can always go back with the gel pen. This paper is actually a little bit off-white. It's not a very bright white. So I'm kind of thinking about changing it. And it makes me nervous because I really like this paper. It's I don't work with markers, and markers go right through it, but it does really well with watercolor and colored pencil, and it has a bit of a grain, but anyway, we'll see. It's a Master's Touch sketchbook, in case y'all were wondering. It's a Hobby Lobby brand, mixed media, and I really love it. So well, that's going to wind it up a little bit for me. Hopefully this video comes out smoother than it looks in the preview. If not, thanks for hanging out anyway and looking at these strange stills. But hopefully it plays when I upload it. We'll find out tonight. Thanks again. Happy drawing and sketching, everybody. Peace and love. Bye.